important announcement from HDFC Bank. A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999. HDFC.
In a few moments, the news.
A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.6:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The President informs China that Sri Lanka needs investment. China assures its full support for Sri Lanka's development. The Paleo vegetable manning market will be vested with the public tomorrow. Except in the Western Province, third term of schools in other areas will commence on Monday. The Ministry of Environment launches the tree planting campaign. In world news, the National Monetary Fund says Vietnam's economy is Asia's shining star during COVID. In sports news, Chris Gayle and Lasith Malinga pull out of the LPL. The newly appointed Ambassador of People's Republic of China to Sri Lanka, Ki Zeng Hong, presented his credentials to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the President's house today. During the brief cordial discussion with the Chinese ambassador following the ceremony, President Rajapaksa expressed his satisfaction over the long-standing and lasting cooperation and friendship with the mutual benefit between Sri Lanka and China. The President has said China extended support towards Sri Lanka's infrastructure development, especially after winning the war against separatism. The Colombo Port City, Hambantota Port and the Southern Expressway are some of such initiatives. The President said projects started with the assistance of China have high income generation and employment creation potentials, and his expectation is to see the full completion of these projects before the end of his tenure. The President stated Sri Lanka has made it a priority to attract investments instead of further following borrowings in its development drive. He said there are vast investment opportunities available. The agricultural sector, communication technology and education are special among them. The President pointed out that livelihood of around 30% of the population of Sri Lanka depends on rural agriculture. He said, achieving the kind of rural development that China has reached over the past 2 or 3 decades and to improve the living standard of the rural population in Sri Lanka is one of its prime objectives. The President told new ambassador to Sri Lanka seeks his assistance in this regard. In response, Ambassador Zeng Hong said that his government is ready to make the maximum possible contribution to the success of Sri Lanka's economic and social development endeavours. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa will vest the Paleo vegetable manning market complex to the public tomorrow. The market complex consists of 1,192 trade stalls. It is a vehicle park for 600 vehicles. The market complex is equipped with restrooms for workers, medical centres, banks, restaurants, cold room facilities and other facilities. Vehicles that transport goods can reach trade stalls up to the 3rd floor of the 4-storied complex. Urban Development Authority said that the Manning Market Trade Complex is located on a 13-acre plot of land. The construction of the new trade complex at Paleo commenced in 2013. 6,900 million rupees have been spent on the construction. The Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Peiris, said school reopened for grades 6 and above from the 23rd of November as previously scheduled. However, this will not apply to schools in the Western Province and the areas currently under lockdown. Education Minister mentioned this holding a press conference today. In addition, students in the Western Province are not allowed to attend schools outside the province boundaries, while students outside Western Province may not attend schools in the Western Province. The minister added, considering the disparities in school, the decisions with regard to each school will be made by a committee led by the principal of each school. Each committee will be comprising of principal of the school, regional public health inspector, Grama Seva officer, a representative of school development board, and a representative from the Past People Association of the school. Meanwhile, the GCE O-level examination for the year 2020 will be held from the 18th of January 2021 to 27th of January 2021. However, considering the ability to hold classes of grade 10 and 11 in isolated areas, a final decision with regard to the dates mentioned for the oral examination will be taken within 2 weeks. The Ministry of Environment has launched a tree planting campaign with the aim of increasing local forest density to 30%. The program to plant 2 million trees will commence tomorrow on the patronage of the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The ceremony will be held near the entry road to the Defence Headquarters at Akuregada in Battaramulla. Minister Bandar Gurubadana said the government has presented a budget to make the country a work site again. The minister pointed out the budget proposals include new employment age duration, improving living standards and encouraging the private sector. The minister mentioned this while attending the commencement of the construction of the second phase of the Khatudua Haritakadal housing project today. The minister said the budget proposal also include measures to develop the country by improving the economy while facing the challenge of the coronavirus pandemic. The housing complex is constructed according to Vistas of the Prosperity Manifesto of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Ms. Nimal Siripalli Silva said there are 816,433 immigrant Sri Lankan workers. He mentioned this as a reply to a question raised in Parliament by MP Chaminda Vijayasiri. The minister explained the steps taken by the government for the welfare of immigrant Sri Lankan workers in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Computerization of the details of immigrant workers who have returned to the country have commenced. The minister said 13,181 of them have returned by 30th of this month, and the second reading of the budget took place for the second day in Parliament today. This is the news coming to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999.
The chairman of the Committee on Public Enterprise, Professor Charita Hera, says that activities of the committee which were suspended due to the pandemic will recommence tomorrow. He said that a meeting will be held following strict health guidelines. Officials of the Road Authority, Ministry of Highways, and officials of the management unit of the relevant projects have been called before the COPE committee tomorrow. The special audit report on the feasibility study and procurement process of the External Expressway will be examined at the meeting. State Minister of Prisons Reforms and Prisoners Rehabilitation, Sudarshini Fernandez-Pulle, directed the Ministry Secretary to appoint a committee to carry out a fair ministerial-level investigation into the recent events that took place in prisons across the country. According to reports, State Minister Fernandez-Pulle has called for a report compiled by the committee in 3 weeks' time. She has also given directives to take disciplinary and legal action against any individual who is held accountable for those incidents. And that ends local news for now.
An important announcement from HDFC Bank. A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999. HDFC.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddha Lepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddha Lepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The Minister of Health says of 306 individuals have been discharged from hospitals as they have recovered from COVID-19. New development brings the total number of coronavirus recoveries reported in the country to 12,903. Sri Lanka confirmed infections count stands at 18,402. Epidemiology unit says that 5,430 of them are still under medical care. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddha Lepa.
On to Watchlight, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board said water supply to several areas will be suspended for 10 hours from tonight. The water cut will be in effect from 9 p.m. today until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Accordingly, Homagama, Panlipitia, Palanvatha and Mathagur areas will experience a water cut. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board said that interruption to water supply due to an urgent maintenance work. Water Board said the water supply to Moratuwa Municipal Council area will also be suspended from 8 p.m. tomorrow till 8 a.m. on Saturday due to an urgent maintenance work at the Moratuwa pumping station. That came to in Watchlight. On to world news. International Monetary Fund says Vietnam's economy is Asia's shining star during COVID. Ethiopia accused the WHO head Tedros of backing Tigray rebels. China pledges to open up its supersized economy. Vietnam has minimized the economic damage from COVID-19 and is the only country in Southeast Asia on track for growth this year. According to latest figures from the National Monetary Fund, its economy is expected to grow 2.4% this year. The IMF credited decisive steps to contain the health and economic fallout from COVID-19 for the country's success. Vietnam has had only 1,028 COVID-19 cases and 35 deaths. Ethiopia's military accused World Health Organization head Tedros Ghebreyesus today of supporting and trying to procure arms and diplomatic support for Tigray's state-dominant political party, which is fighting the federal troops. A WHO spokesman said there was no immediate comment on the accusation against Tedros, an Ethiopian of Tigrayan descent, who served as health minister in former government coalition led by the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Chinese President Xi Jinping has said China will open up its supersized economy to import more high-quality goods and services. He said today China will also sign free trade pacts with more countries. But Xi was speaking at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, which includes the US and Russia. It is as yet unclear if US President Donald Trump will be speaking at the event, which continues tomorrow. And back to the headlines of the world news. International Monetary Fund says Vietnam's economy is Asia's shining star during COVID. Ethiopia accused the WHO head Tedros of backing Tigray rebels. China pledges to open up its supersized economy. That was world news. Development news. The importance of establishing a fully fledged development bank was stressed by Hatton National Bank MD CEO Jonathan Allis as Sri Lanka explores multiple avenues to achieve stable economic growth. I'll stress that Sri Lanka is at the moment needing a development bank very badly since commercial banks at the end of the day build their portfolio with deposits from customers and investors who expect returns. But 2021 proposed setting up of a National Development Banking Corporation that will be achieved by merging Housing and Investment Bank, Housing Development Real Estate Limited and Regional Development Bank. That is development news.
Empower your dreams with NSV Wings.
Chris Gayle has told Candy Tuskers franchise that he will not be travelling to Sri Lanka on account of an injury for the LPL. Lasith Malinga, Sri Lanka's most recognisable T20 player, has also pulled out a week from the tournament start date, citing inadequate preparation time. Gayle's exit has been rumoured for several days that Malinga's withdrawal has become as a more of a surprise, particularly as he was one of the Gold Gladiators' marquee players and was expected to lead the team. The first match of the LPL is scheduled to be played on the 26th of November. The tournament is to be played at the Surya Weber Stadium in its entirety and is set to run till the 16th of December. Former Sri Lanka seam and bowling coach Novan Soiza has been found guilty of match-fixing offences. Soiza was charged by International Cricket Council ICC in 2018 and has been found guilty of 3 breaches of the Anti-Corruption Code. They include being party to an effort to fix an international match. ICC said Soiza, who played 30 tests and 95 one internationals, remains suspended and sanctions will follow in due course. America's Cup defenders Team New Zealand launched their second high-speed AC-75 foiling monohull today, a boat they hope will help them to retain the sport's oldest trophy early next year. Team New Zealand is the last syndicate to launch their second-generation yacht, with the challenging teams from Italy, Britain and United States all launching their boats last month. The boat named Te Rohati was launched at a glitter ceremony outside the team's base. That was Sports News. Love Supermarket Private Limited began operations in October 2000 with its first outlet opening in Havelock Town. It celebrated their 20th anniversary in October 2020. Supermarket chain has expanded to 38 outlets, with 36 of them located in the Western Province and 2 outlets located in Krunagar and Chilao. The chain, which was initially named Sunup, was rebranded as Love Supermarkets in 2011. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The wait is over, and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSV Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSV Wings. Recharge the high goals.
Economic news, courtesy of
Just move on real time, save more, LOLC real time. Paying the premium for transactions, simply save now real time. Day night, no trouble for your transactions. LOLC real time. Download LOLC Finance real time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with a zero cost and more benefits.
The government has proposed to provide 50% tax concession on corporate income tax for 3 years to companies seeking listings on the Colombo Stock Exchange before 31st December 2021. It wants to maintain a rate of 14% in the subsequent 2 years in order to develop the country's capital market. A widely applicable corporate income tax was brought down 24% from 20% effective from 1st of January 2020 as part of broader tax concessions afforded to companies by the new government. That is economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
On to the weather. Met Department says showers or the showers will occur at most places during the afternoon or night tomorrow. Showers will occur in coastal areas or the northern eastern provinces in the morning too as well. Fairly with showers, about 70 millimeters can be expected some places in the southern, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern and Nuwa provinces. And back to the headline of the news, the president informed China that Sri Lanka needs investment. China assured its full support for Sri Lanka's development. The paleo-governmental mining market will be invested in the public tomorrow. Except in the Western Province, third-term schools in other areas will commence on Monday. Ministry of Environment launches the tree planting campaign. In world news, International Monetary Fund says Vietnam's economy is Asia's shining star during COVID. And in sports news, Chris Gayle and Lasith Malinga pull out of LPL.